All right, hi guys, good morning. Um, Welcome to today's lesson. We'll be continuing where we left off from last week on sine and cosine ratios of obtuse angles. If you recall, we actually did up a table, we included some values of acute and obtuse angles, and we find the sine and cosine values. And then you realize that um, the sine of the obtuse angle is the same as the sine of the acute angle, and the cosine of the obtuse angle is the same as the acute angle, but there has a negative sign itself. Okay, so if you summarize what we have found um in last week's lesson, okay, suppose I have a straight line, okay, and I say I have something like this, where this angle here is theta. Then we know for a fact that this angle over here will simply be 180 degrees minus theta because angles, adjacent angles on a straight line. Okay, so based on last week's table that you guys found, we know for a fact that this sine ratio of theta is actually the same as sine 180 degrees minus theta. Okay, and similarly, we have cosine theta, but instead of it being the same as cosine 180 degrees minus theta, the magnitude itself is the same, but there's an additional negative sign there. Okay, so these are our two main concepts that we are going to look at today. Okay, to use this to apply this in examples itself. Okay, of course we also did do for tangent as well. Okay, so we also know that tangent theta is equals to negative tangent 180 degrees minus theta. However, this will be more applicable in Amax. For Emax itself, we won't be looking at this. Okay, so for Emax, we will just ignore this for a while. Okay, so you'll just be looking at this for Emax. Okay, but I will revisit this again in Amax itself. So we'll talk about this in Amax. We also talk about the proof itself in Amax. All right. So our objective for today is to see how we can apply this concept to questions and examples. So we'll be looking at try 6 and try 7 today. So let's take a look at try 6 first. So now in try 6, okay, we have if the angle is between 0 to 180 degrees, find the possible values of theta when sine theta equals to 0.7 and cosine theta equals to negative 0.625. Now, if you go back to our main page, okay, you realize that because sine theta equals to sine 180 degrees minus theta, okay, just to recap one last thing, okay, this is your acute angle and this is your obtuse angle. Basically, obtuse angle is anything between 90 to 180 degrees, okay, and acute angle is between 0 to 90 degrees, okay. But yeah, you realize that since the sine theta equals to 180 degrees minus theta, okay, when we type into the calculator at least for part A, okay, when we type in sine inverse 0.7, okay, you realize that you will end up with one answer only, 44.4 degrees. Okay. However, because of the fact that we have sine theta equals to sine 180 degrees minus theta, then we also have to consider the fact that theta might be obtuse as well. So we have to say that yes, theta can be 44.4 degrees, but theta can also be 180 degrees minus 44.4. Okay, and you realize that theta will be simply equals to 44.4 or 180 degrees minus 44.4, and you will get 135.6 degrees. Okay, so these are the two things that you have to consider. Okay, so the good thing is, okay, so the thing is for sine itself, the moment they ask you to find the value of theta and they say theta is between 0 to 180 degrees, you have to do this additional step over here to consider the obtuse angles. And you can check back in sine 135.6, you should get back 0.7. Okay, so the downside of having a calculator is that they will only give you one value, which is 44.4, and you need to be able to get the second value on your own. Now, for part B, cosine theta equals to negative 0.625. You don't have to worry about the two values because you know for a fact that the obtuse angle is negative, the acute angle is positive. So in this case, I am simply safe to do this. So theta equals to cosine inverse negative 0.625. And this should get me one answer only because of the fact that acute and obtuse has different signs. So when I cosine inverse negative 0.625, I should get back 128.7 degrees, and I'm done. Okay, so this is how you solve a trigo equation. In fact, in Amex, we'll be looking more on how to solve trigo equations uh, in depth. Okay, so this is probably a very good introduction, okay, to solving trigo equation. Okay, now let's take a look at try 7. Okay, try 7 is a more typical question that will appear in your O levels. So in the diagram, ABC are points on the straight tree trunk, BD is a branch, BD is 1.7 meters, and cosine CBD is negative 4.9. So CBD is somewhere here. Okay, so find the value of cosine ABD. So cosine ABD is this angle over here. So we know for a fact that cosine theta equals to negative cosine 180 degrees minus theta. So if I want to find cosine angle ABD, so cosine angle ABD, since we have the obtuse cosine, we can also say that this is the same as negative cosine 180 degrees minus angle ABD. And 180 degrees minus angle ABD is the same as angle CBD. So equals to the negative of cosine angle CBD. Okay, and negative of cosine angle CBD. So negative of cosine angle CBD is simply negative 4 over 9 as given in the question over here. So negative 4 over 9. So now we have cosine angle ABD is simply 4 over 9. Okay, and then find the distance between A and D. So we know for a fact that this is opposite, this is hypotenuse, and this is adjacent. But since we are only given the cosine value, okay, so we'll just put there, okay, cosine angle ABD is equals to 4 over 9, and this is simply AB over BD equals to 4 over 9. Okay, and then AB is what we want to find first. So AB equals to BD, which is 1.7 multiplied by 4 over 9. Okay, and AB equals to 1.7 multiplied by 4 over 9. You'll get 34 over 45. Okay, and then to find AD, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it by Tuakaso using the sine ratio or tangent ratio even, or we can just do it by Pythagoras theorem. Okay, choose whichever route is comfortable for you. Okay, if you realize as you go into second, if you as you go into upper sec, most of the questions that you are asked, there are more than just one method to find the question, to find the answer. So AD equals to square root of 1.7 square minus 34 over 45 square. So AD equals to 1.52 meters. Okay, and that's it. So hopefully you see how we can use the sine and cosine ratios. Now the questions that you'll be doing will be given to you in class tomorrow. Okay, so have a great day ahead. Do take care, and if you have any questions, do let me know.